Or get the energy up, maybe I should say.
All the things. What are you drinking today?
I am drinking coffee, water. What about you?
Oh, I thought you only drank tea, but I guess you drink coffee with a straw then.
I drink both, actually. Yeah, a lot of times on the lives, I like to have tea, but today this is coffee number 3 because I needed it. You know.
This is coffee number 3.
uh,
Oh,
how's your Monday going? By the way, I love your shirt. That is very cool.
oh,
The flowers
thanks.
and
You're like the
stuff.
second person to say that to me today, so I guess I'll keep it.
Yeah, great choice.
Thanks.
You heavy on the coffee side or the tea side?
I'm heavy on the Celsius side.
That works
At
too.
some point, coffee just didn't do it for me anymore, but all yours, friend.
That works. Well, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. This is the Deal Room. And as some of you may have noted, this was previously recorded. Right now, I'm recording this on Monday. It's Monday morning, Monday late morning, and I'm still going to give you the market update. Now, why is this pre-recorded? Because right now, as you're watching this, I am, let's see, noon PST on Wednesday. That's about 48 hours from now. I am on stage in Houston, Texas, and I am hanging out with about probably, let's see, there's 83, so probably about 65 people in this room in Houston. So I pre-recorded this on Monday. I want to get this update out to you every single week, and I want to continue the energy. So we're going to dive into the weekly update, and we're going to dive into a hot seat. We're going to dive into a couple live dials. And you guys, if you would, go ahead and comment in the chat because I do have a live moderator here. And I want to see you guys in the chats. I want to see you guys hopping in the chats. How's the energy levels? 1 out of 10 and all of the good things. All right. So still keep the likes and the subscribes and the chats going live because there's still several dozen of you on here hanging out with me virtually. So thank you for being here. Happy Wednesday. What has been going on? Well, interestingly, last week I seen a news article that come up. And I wanted to focus in this week on this news article. Ironically, 4 hours before I recorded this show, the Fox Business posted a video about this very thing. So the news article is from the New York Post. And what it talks about, I actually have it pulled up here on my computer. Let me get it up in front of me. It talks about major home builders considering first-time home buyers making houses more affordable through what's called the Trump homes. Now, interestingly enough, no secret, you hear me talk about it a lot. We have a president who is a White House, who is a real estate developer, who's a real estate entrepreneur, who's a real estate investor. And the rulings we're going to come out of this White House and that we have seen are no doubt going to continue to be very pro-investor and also helping housing affordability for helping the economy. It's no secret. You hear me talk about it a lot. We're about 5.5 million homes underbuilt. So even though demand has fallen and interest rates have risen, we still continue to have around 800, I think right now, a little less than 800,000 houses available for people to buy. So while demand has fallen slightly, price has not fallen at all. And we're still tremendously underbuilt. So that being said, it allows us a unique thing in the marketplace. And I've been talking about this for quite some time, giving people what I call a path to home ownership. As I read through this article, I thought it was interesting. It says the homes would be intended. So some of these major home builders that want to provide 1 million houses into the marketplace for affordable housing, it says these homes would be intended to provide a pathway to home ownership for first-time buyers. How cool. It's exactly what we do with our buy slow method, buy on owner finance and sell on lease option. And of course, some of the people around us do new housing development as well. And it's perfect, lease options. So what this would do in the very preliminary stages, as the New York Post has reported on these, quote, Trump homes, and as the Fox Business just came out talking about, would be 1 million homes added to the marketplace through builders. These would be new homes that are built being around $250,000 to $300,000. The national median price range is between 4 and 420. So they would be affordable housing by all metrics, and the rent to own program would give them like 3 years in order to qualify for the mortgage. So as rates are coming down and the home, I guess you would say, housing crisis, as they call it, is stabilized, it would allow people to go ahead and move in and start affording a home. Very cool concept. Again, the path to home ownership is exactly what we've been providing now for many years as the, quote, housing crisis has gotten worse. And I say, quote, housing crisis because there is always tremendous opportunity. There's always tremendous opportunity for people to win. There's always a transfer of wealth. Just right now, we're in an extraordinary time of transfer of wealth with AI and what's been happening in the marketplace, and with the underbuilding of houses for the last decade now, being many million homes shy of what is needed. We're in a very unique place. So what does this mean to you and I as real estate investors? I think it's further validation of what we've been doing with our rent-to-own programs for years. It's exciting to be on the cutting edge. For all of you who've been in our world for the last while, you are ahead. You're on the cutting edge of what the heck is going on. And the naysayers about this program, their feedback is, well, what if housing prices were to drop and the lease option program or the rent-to-own program already had a buyer locked in a price? Well, gosh, that's the same thing that happens now when somebody goes and gets a bank loan. So the risk is no different in that regard. Now, of course, yes, would the documents have to protect the buyer and the seller? Of course, as always, there's a lot of nuances to be figured out, but I think it's a very cool thing that the Boslow method, buy own or finance, sell and lease option, that the lease option portion of that has been becoming more mainstream in the last while as a way to solve the affordability crisis. And for every one of you who are, of course, live with us right now, who hang out with us every Wednesday Deal Room Live, you're going to notice this over and over again. I believe we're going to see a lot more of this, especially as these, quote, Trump homes come into the marketplace, as the builders are teaming up with the White House to provide this opportunity. We are in exciting times, my friends. So stay on the cutting edge. Stick around for the updates. Watch for more and more of these news articles to come out around rent to own and what is available. Of course, expect some fear and concern as the news media is a master at painting, and expect great opportunity for us real estate investors, making our job, frankly, easier as we have an administration who is so pro real estate investor. So great things are happening. Thank you for being here. Let's dive into the next segment of this Deal Room Live. Let's let everybody in the Zoom room. What's up to the Zoom crew? Now, for all of you in the Zoom room, type it in the chat. How's your energy level? Now, just to not add any confusion, Lauren, Daryl, and Diane, Janet, I know you're seeing previously recorded on the screen right now. Now, we're live right now. Lauren and I, we're getting ready to have a live chat. This is Monday that this is pre-recorded, okay? So Monday, we are actually doing the recording. The reason this is on the screen is because this is going to be broadcasted on Wednesday for the Deal Room Live while I'm on stage at Houston with you guys, all right? So for all of you going, well, crap, how is Andrew talking when this is pre-recorded? That's what's going on. So Diane's at a 10. Zoom users at an 8. Good to see you. Marlon's at a 10. What's up, Joanne Lee? Good to see you. Janet, welcome, 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 welcome. And happy Wednesday for the recorded crowd. Happy Monday for my live crowd. All right. So we're going to dive into some live seller calls. I just wrapped up the recording of the update early, so shameless plug. Go log into the Wednesday Deal Room Live and comment with all of the watchers on there, and you'll catch up with all the updates for the week. All right. I gave some exciting rent-to-own updates from a New York Post last week, and Fox Business just posted it 4 hours before this recording. So we got live dials to get to. Shout out to Darylyn following up. We had a deal happen, follow-up happen with a crew last week, and she followed up and got the pictures of the deal, and we have some follow-ups this week with the guy. Now, I share this. I want to note because this deal with Darylyn, it's a gentleman, for those of you who weren't on here, it's a gentleman who owns a restaurant and a house. And in totality, he owes on them, I think, like, I don't recall, maybe 100,000, a couple $100,000. It's not a lot in comparison to the value. He claims the value is 1.6. Well, the bad news is he's behind on taxes and he's getting sued by the people he owes money to them on. And so while he's at risk of losing both the restaurant and the house and getting absolutely zero, I respect his hustle and I respect his optimism, but he is being somewhat unrealistic about the price. So he said yes to owner financing, and then he talked to his brother, and his brother come back and told him to get us to put 300,000 down. Do the math with me, 1.6 million, 300,000 down, which is possibly doable, right? Not the end of the world. I'm open to that. In fact, I can show you guys how to have the properties to produce the down payment. So it's not you putting the 300 down. Everybody like that plan? Yes. Yes. Okay, good. So the problem arose whenever he said he wants $500,000 payment in 6 months and the remaining 500,000 in the following 6 months. Now, the deal doesn't support that. Okay? It doesn't make a lick of sense, as we used to say growing up. Why would I give somebody 300,000 down and 500 payments every 6 months until paid, unless I was getting a massive amount of equity? So we come back and said, we'll do the 300,000 down, but we need to be at a 1.1 purchase price, and we need monthly payments that the deal will support until we can sell it and pay it off. All right? Understand that the way you structure these deals on the front end is going to make the difference. And yes, you lose the deal sometimes. That's okay. Don't get single deal itis. That's what kills businesses, is getting single deal itis and then going, well, crap, I got to get this deal closed. And then 6 months comes and a $500,000 payment comes due and you're going, oh, crap, what do I do now? And so the way you structure these deals up front, and we lose some, that's okay, is now the ones you get in 6 months and 12 months and 2 years from now, you're making money on them instead of stressing about them. And that's what I want for you. So we're going to be diving into some follow-ups. I have here a list of deals submitted from Darylyn and Diane and Heather and Jane. So very, very exciting deal call today. And then here in just a couple of minutes, after we have a few brief chats on a couple of these people answering the darn phones, hopefully, then Lauren and I are going to have a chat. All right. So I'm going to read through the comments. Do we have any questions, Stephanie?
We do. Here's one. This is from Steve. Steve is asking, Andrew, can we finalize with lesson schedule assigning at a real estate attorney? He should have reviewed the agreement and be ready to go. He asked for a call today after 2. Maybe that was TMI.
Cool. I'm sure the answer is yes. I don't recall, brother, who Les is or what deal this is regarding. So the question I would have is, do you already have a contract on it? If so, then what deal or where do we go from here? What state is it so we can go from there? Steve says, just closed with him on the daily call. Sent contract on Friday. Okay, cool. What state is it? Owensboro, Kentucky. Oh, that's why I don't remember it, because I remember everything. Judy closed it. Yes, absolutely. So get with, do you have a are you partnering on it with Judy, or you plan on closing it yourself, Steve? Boom, 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 boom. Just me. All right, cool. Get with your coach. I can connect you with Blueprint Title does nationally. We got a couple of great Owensboro title companies as well. Get with your coach and make sure that you follow up on getting the purchase agreement. Your next steps are get the purchase agreement to your closing attorney, and then they'll do a title search. And then a couple weeks later, most likely, is when they're going to schedule the closing. So yes, get clarity on who you're going to use to close it. And if you need my help on that, the team's help on that, your coach will guide you. And dude, congratulations! Can we bring Steve up for a minute if he's in a place to talk? I don't know if Steve is on screen. Boom, boom, boom. Where you at, Steve? Steve, you're in the mobile office. Forgive me. I know I'm just like impromptuing you here. Tell me the numbers
Yeah,
on
I'm
this
on.
deal, man.
So we're buying it for 230,
Okay.
and it's what else? We're going zero down, 600 a month.
So 230 purchase
It's only
price,
for
zero down, 6 months.
uh
Okay.
it's only for 2 years,
2 years. Okay.
and a clause in there is that if he sells, so Les is the son-in-law for the owners, the sellers, basically.
Okay.
He also has his house on the market. It's at like 1.4 million. And as soon as he closes on his house, which he doesn't have a buyer for yet, then I have to cash out.
Got it. What do you think
It's
this house is worth?
I don't know. Judy was the one like looking at it, and we haven't talked since.
Cool.
I don't know what it's worth. He has it listed for 250.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations and way to go. How exciting,
Thank you.
dude. And shout out to Stephanie when I do something impromptu that is not planned and you just make me look awesome. And now you got Steve up on the screen so everybody can see him. Everybody just give a virtual round of applause in the chat for the amazing Stephanie. So, Steve,
Oh, thank you.
congratulations,
Thank
dude.
you.
That's
Yeah, it's
incredible.
exciting.
So you need clarity on suggestion for what real estate attorney to use, correct? And then
Correct.
clarity on your steps for getting closing across the finish line.
Yeah, and he was going to talk with the father-in-law on Sunday yesterday, and then
Okay.
today is a follow-up call and see if they have any questions.
Perfect. Did they already okay the agreement?
Verbally, yes.
But they haven't signed.
No, that was yesterday.
Okay.
So he was going to meet with them, and then we were going to come together and talk after.
Perfect. And what's it called? Okay, awesome. If you don't
So
mind,
yeah,
um, Anya, can you connect Steve and Judy for that follow up and see if Judy can connect to help with that follow up today, or if Chris can do a handoff. Let me know you
awesome.
got
Thanks.
that message. You're welcome. Way to go, brother. All right, we're gonna see if we can get this someone to answer the phone here, and then we are going to have a chat with the incredible Lauren. We are calling Jim on a state drive.
Calling now.
Hey guys, feeling good? Feeling good? Give me some energy in the chats. Give me an oh yeah. Calling Dan on Hunt Road.
Oh, wait, he needs to be called tomorrow. He's at work today.
Oh, all right. We'll skip Dan on Hunt Road and we'll go to Jennifer on Hamilton.
Which one? Michael Hamilton or Michelle?
Hey, it's Andrew calling you back about the house on Hamilton. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. Did I catch you at a good time?
Um, I'm just trying to remember when we talked. Sorry, I was getting ready to look and see if we text or something.
That's okay. You talked to, actually, I think you talked to my partner, Jane. Um, and so my understanding is you were asking 169, correct?
Yes, that's the price for it right now.
Yeah. Okay. And you're the agent, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. If Jane noted down here that if we paid your commission up front and all the closing that your seller might entertain doing some owner financing, is that correct?
But it would need to be a large down payment because we've had other offers. If it was a large down payment, it might be possible. If and the payments were at a good place, it might be possible. Um, he hasn't said totally yes to it, but he has started to entertain things. And we did have one that was like 20,000 down, and they were willing to go all the way up to 200. So um, I
What do
don't
you
know
think?
what your plans will be.
What do you think the over the last year it hadn't sold yet? Is there like any feedback that buyers are given that's causing it to not sell?
One is the stairs. So that's an issue. So I've had a veteran that wanted it, but the stairs were too much for him. So I'd say that's one of the biggest. The owners have already fixed everything that was kind of heard, I guess, about some feedback. So windows have been replaced and, work has been done. And then what happened out of nowhere was the sewage line had an issue. So they had to come in and replace the whole entire line
Oh, shoot.
from the
That's
top.
expensive.
Hell yeah, it is. From the top of that near the house all the way down. They thought they only needed to do like one area near the house. Turned out they had to go all the way down to the street. So that was yeah, that was wild. So I've had people want to come view it, but because things like that have happened recently, it couldn't happen. So we had another repair that needed to be done recently. So just the tenants in there are finding out what needs to be done actually. And that's been the holdup. So I had like maybe at least 2 or 3 people that wanted to view it, but we were fixing a water line on the inside recently. So now that's fixed, and I get to reach back out to them and see if their buyers want to come through and look. So it's not like we don't have interest. It's just it's an old house, and things end up happening that take priority. So
Yeah. Okay. Um, what? How much is the tenants paying?
um, they are about I want to say around 1,600 off the top of my head,
Okay.
somewhere in there.
And then do you know if your seller has a debt on it or they already paid it off?
Pretty sure there's no debt on the property.
Okay. Is this the only one they're just looking to get rid of their single rental or they got a portfolio they're looking to get rid of?
This was their first flip, and they are done with this.
Fair, fair.
Yeah.
Okay. It don't take very many sewer line surprises to run one out of the business.
And they actually had insurance, so that kind of helped out a little bit, since tenants were in there and things like that. So it could have been a lot worse, but yeah.
Okay. So if we was to buy it, let's see, 169, what kind of monthly payment, knowing we're responsible for maintenance, repairs, and taxes and insurance and everything, they're free and can move on. What kind of payment do you think they'd look for from us as a net payment in their pocket?
I have to talk to them because there's multiple owners in this. So I think another piece would be the payoff for the other owner. So I'll have to see. I'll have to see, honestly.
Got it. So there's multiple owners?
Yeah. So if
Okay.
do I have your information?
No, you can call my partner Jane. I'm actually getting ready to travel this week, so she'll be way more available than me. I can text you her info as soon as we hang up. For a down payment, on top of covering your commission, like how much are they asking for?
Yeah, that's what I'd have to find out.
Okay.
You said I do have her information already, or no?
Yeah, you do, but I can give you her number right now.
Let me make sure. Yes, I'm sure I do.
Actually, is it okay if I just text it to you once we hang up? Probably be
Is it Nathan.
Jane Nathan, yes.
Okay, I have it. Is it the
Yes.
okay, I see it. I'm just gonna save or connect it to this property real quick.
Perfect.
And then
Yeah, just let me know once you got those numbers back, and then we'll either see if we can come to a number or not, and either way is okay. So I appreciate it.
all right, thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer. All right, bye for now.
Bye.
All right. Um, who here can tell why that property is not sold?
Kind of feels a little bit like maybe the realtor.
Oh my goodness, what an interesting call, But I just share that. I think it's such an interesting thing, all of you, when you're looking at these deals, sometimes you ask, like, well, why has it been on the market for 380 days? It's either a house problem or it's a seller problem. In this case, realtor problem, or sometimes a duplication of all the above. Something else that you'll hear is you'll start to listen to the things they say. Like they mentioned tenant, right? She said tenant. So immediately I go to what are the tenants paying? I know now it's an investment property. Cool. What's the seller got going on? Oh, this is a flip. It was supposed to be a flip. Well, they done intended to flip the darn thing a year ago then. And then they done a somewhat of a job of rehab, and it was their first flip. Unfortunately, they got in over their heads, and now they're renting the darn thing so they don't lose their shirt, and they're just praying to get rid of it. And then we hear the partner thing. So understand, we just asked those questions, and I kept going deeper because I wanted you guys to hear the questions that we ask when, in this case, realtor happened to be very knowledgeable. A lot of times a realtor is not nearly that knowledgeable about the property. And in that case, she was extremely knowledgeable, which go deep into a sales class there, but we got a couple more dials to get to. All right. What's up, Tom? How's the energy? Good. I feel it. I feel it through the screen. Do we have any more questions, Stephanie, before we get to our next dial?
We have a quick one from Heather. She says, since Daniel on Hunt Road can't talk today, can you try Troy?
I would be delighted to. I don't know if I have his info, but
You tried to call him on Saturday. He didn't pick up.
beautiful. Are you able, Anya, to find Heather's lead,
Lane.
Troy, for me?
Troy Lane.
Troy Lane for me. And I'm going to call George back while we wait. Shout out to Anya.
Troy's lead is in fast track, row 1 to 17.
Row 1. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, that's row 106.
Oh,
Let me
106?
send over his phone number instead.
Thank you. This is George, Darylyn's lead. George didn't answer. He texted and said, please text. All right. Let's see if we can get Mr. Troy on the phone. This is Troy on 6th.
Please leave your message.
All right. We're going to try one more, and then I want to have a chat with Heather because I do have a hard stop in 39 minutes, and I got a lot more to share with you guys too. All right, let's see. We have boom, 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 boom.
Andrew,
Yes. Who's talking?
Judith on Robert's longest. Would you have time to call the bank?
Sure. Let's do it. Anya, can you send me Robert longest number? It would be an old one. Any more questions in the chat at the moment? Stephanie?
None at the moment. I keep
right.
thinking about your last call and how it had multiple people that she had to talk to. I was like, that sounds very, very tedious.
The plot thickens. You know, and I think there's a takeaway there, and that's one of the things I want to, before we move on to the next thought process, because we're ready to dial someone and it's complicated. And for each of you, you know, listening to this and hearing, I want you to be aware that, like, that's not a normal call, right? And you'll come across them. And so in the beginning, you know, it may take 100 or 50 conversations to buy a house. But then as you go, oh, wait, we can solve liens by asking more questions. Oh, wait, we can solve this problem by asking more questions. And then once you, for those of you who are newer, you understand, for example, these guys are just praying for somebody to come and take this nightmare off their plate. And you are the answer to their prayer. And I'm guessing from the facts we just gathered, and there could be a place where a partner needs $63,000 for something or whatever thing. But remember, a year ago, they needed $200. And it's a year they've dropped price. Who knows how many realtors they've gone through. And they're just going, my gosh, I wish this darn thing was gone. And so if you start to put yourself in those opportunities, now it comes down to, can I trust Heather to make my payments? Can I trust Laura Lee's going to pay me? If the answer is yes, then my gosh, please take my house already and deal with this problem. And so because of what you know, then everything shifts. All right. So make sure that we're just getting good at asking better questions. Thank you, Anya. That's perfect. You're right, Devin. So this next one is a guy we've been calling. We talked a while ago. Joe and Judith had a purchase agreement on it, and then we find out that there is an extra almost $30,000 of liens on the property that can't be removed, have to be paid off, and then we find out there is a additional $20,000 to $30,000 of work to do to the property. Who here realizes that 30,000 plus 30,000 makes a big difference in your end numbers? So we called the bank. I'm not an attorney, don't claim to be, and was trying to assist him in getting the bank's options for other ways he could get out from under this burden. Potentially he could do a short sell. Potentially he could do all sorts of things. And the bank, when we last talked, was dead set on only doing a loan modification where they let him bring his payments current. Well, unfortunately, since he's got all these other liens and problems, I mean, unless he's going to live there for the next many, many years, unless he's going to live there for the next lot of years, there's not really a place to make profit on it. Bringing them current, I mean, unless you want to buy the darn house and cost second and dump tens of thousands of dollars in it and carry it for decades to one day get rich. If so, God bless you, but that ain't our plan. That ain't how we buy real estate. So he's either got to get a short sale done or not. And whichever way it goes, it goes. Let's bring up the incredible Lauren Williams. I want to have a chat with you, my friend. I want to shout out Lauren. Lauren is someone who is incredible. She recently became part of the community. Only a few weeks ago we met, and on a Zoom just like this. And I've watched you. Number one, your energy is incredible. You look amazing. I love your background. You've always got the best background. But Lauren, how in the world are you? What part of the country are you in? And what is going on in your world?
All right, I'm doing absolutely awesome. I thank you so much for even wanting to chat with me. I am in San Antonio, Texas, and I cannot wait to make a quick 3 hour drive to meet you guys, shake your hand, give you a
Let's
big ol'
go.
hug in Houston. I know we're going to learn so much and just build relationships. So excited.
Heck yeah. So while everybody's watching this right now on YouTube on Wednesday, you and I are hanging out in Houston together, actually.
That's right.
That's what I'm talking about. Cool. So we met. First off, how did we meet? Where did we meet?
Okay, so I attended I Speak to Lee training, and you came on and you said, "Hey, I have a gift for everybody. It's the 12 deals of Christmas." And I tuned in to all 12 days, and what really out to me was the momentum building
Hmm.
and the focus on making calls and taking action. And when you enter this world of real estate investing, it's just like a little peek through the door, and then it's just so many options that you could learn. It's sometimes hard to hone in on and stay focused. There are so many rabbit holes you could go down. So the momentum building and the focus on being a really good operator is where I just clicked with you guys, and you guys kept saying over and over, how you do anything is how you do or how you do anything is how you do everything. And I kept telling myself that for the whole 12 deals of Christmas, and it just stuck with me. So that's how we
Hmm.
met.
Thanks for sharing that. And what was the shift over you joined our RUS coaching a few weeks back? What has been the shift for you since that happened? Because I've watched you just like you're an action taker. You're someone who's like me. You're like say yes now, figure out how. I don't want to future pace because we ain't yet met in person, but I'm predicting you're the lady who shows up early and sits on the front row. That's the type
I
of person I am.
am.
So, like, share with me what's the momentum shift since joining a few weeks ago.
I think the shift was really the focus.
Mm,
It was really the focus on setting time on your calendar and actually doing what your calendar has you doing. Time blocking
yeah,
is exactly what I needed to do to focus. I was kind of having squirrel moments, and there's business and I need to learn this, and what if I don't know what to say on the phone? And it was just like focus on what you need to do right now and becoming a very, very good operator. And that is the season of my life that I'm in right now. We just had a call with Leo, and he said, "What season in your life are you in right now?" And he also said, remember to enjoy it because you're in the middle of your story. And one day
mm,
you'll be up on stage talking about your story. So this is absolutely my hustle season and my season of becoming an amazing operator. But the accountability is also huge for me. I love accountability. I love personal accountability because if you don't have personal accountability, that's where you need to start. But I also like coming on with the family, Truka family, and saying, hey, these are my goals. This is what I've done today. And then everybody kind of motivating and encouraging everybody else.
absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. What's been the in could be in recent weeks or it could be over the past few years. What's been the couple of biggest hangups that's kept Lauren from hitting her objectives?
Hmm. Well, my life in the last couple of years looks drastically different than it does now. I was able to retire from my W-2 job and really focus on this 100% of the time. I don't think there's any hangups. I think it's learning. You know, I could pick up the phone and be an operator. Now I need to hone in and get finely tuned at my skills,
Yeah.
know when to walk away. 70% of your deals are through the feedback, and I took that to heart, and I am following up with everybody and their mom. But maybe I need to learn when to walk away, and it's okay to walk away and recognize when it's not a deal. So I think just the fine tuning of everything and knowing how to proceed or walk away.
Yeah. I think that's an entrepreneurial curse, right? We see opportunity and it's easy to, of course, I did this a lot in the beginning where I would let people waste a lot of my time, right? They drag you down a road, call me back, and 7 months later, you've called them back every 7 days, and reality. They just want somebody to hang out with and talk to. So
Absolutely.
that's a game changer. What would you say? Someone else on here, maybe they're struggling with fear of the phone because it seems like to me that's not a place where you struggle. Maybe you used to did, but I haven't seen that side of you. What would you say to somebody who's struggling with fear of the phone? What's the mindset that just lets Lauren like freaking crank these calls like they're nothing?
What do you have to lose? You know, you're literally never going to meet this person. They don't know who you are. You can, if you make mistakes, you know, I've heard you could just hang up. I haven't personally done that. You know, I've used the line, well, let me get with my team and I'll get back with you. But what's there to lose? You know, put yourself out there, take the jump, take the leap. You might surprise yourself. I've been watching your videos, Andrew, and I love how you say before each one, this is going to be an amazing call, and they're going to sell me their house and then dial. So I've implemented that just to have that positivity out there with the call. And I tell myself too, just pretend they're your grandparents. You know, have respect, be
Yeah.
cordial, be nice, be willing to listen. Um, and like you said, we're there to solve their problems, and they're going through a significant change in their life. So if you could just be a listening ear, someone of reason, you might surprise yourself. It's okay, just take the leap. And I'm
Yeah.
willing to call phone calls with any of you guys. So call me. Let's do phone calls live on Zoom. Why not?
That's what I'm talking about. I love that energy. What's the big goal? I want to hear Lauren's like vision 3 years from now.
Ooh, well, you know, I don't want to limit myself, but I definitely want 3 to 5 chickens really quick, maybe wholesales in the bucket so I could learn that side of it. And then I'll focus on elephants because I do have a W-2, you know, passive income that's coming in that I could kind of turn my focus on that. I have aging parents. They're 75, they're still working, getting up every day and going to work. So I would love to relieve some of their stress and their bills and pay off of that. That's the reason for the 5 quick chickens. And then sky's the limit. I really want to get good at operating, closing deals, teamwork, building relationships, and then turning around and teaching other people how to do it. I have 8 nieces and nephews I would love to teach. I'll teach my brother. I'll teach everybody in my community. I've met some pretty amazing women in San Antonio. I would love to turn around and teach them. So, yeah, the sky's the limit. I just want to be really good at it and teach others.
I love that. Servant's heart. That's incredible. What's without limiting yourself, but knowing, hey, imagine that we've already encountered the 5 chickens, right? We've already put 50 or 100 in the bank and took care of the parents. That's doing well. And maybe we have 2 or 3 terms deals contracted and it's a few months from now. Um, what what about life has changed? Is it just peace of mind? Is it just seeing your parents in a better place? What in life has changed?
Peace of mind and having complete ownership of my time. That has been a real mind shift since I've left my W-2. You know, I was able to ask myself, what do I really want to do when I grow up? And how do I really want to spend my time in this new adventure, in this new life? So I'm going to put in the hustle, I'm going to learn as much as I can, and then I'll be able to dictate what my time looks like, whether that's travel, hanging out with family. I have a 15-year-old son who's huge into basketball. So if he continues in basketball, I could go watch his games, you know, all over the nation. Um, just quality time, quality lifetime with family and friends would be the huge shift.
Love that. On a, I know you're a big giver. Is there any segments of people that you have special heart to teach or share?
Uh, Definitely veterans. I was in the Air Force for 24 years, so I would love to help
Thank you for your
veterans give
service.
back to the community that I came from. But I mean, I wouldn't want to limit that either. You know, anybody who's interested, I think being interested in real estate is very niche and unique. You know, I'm sure a lot of people get interested and leave quickly. But if anybody is interested, you know, I wouldn't want to limit myself to just veterans or a certain um, population. I would be open and willing to share and teach anybody. But yeah, veterans, you know, the suicide rate and all that is real, so helping the community that I came from would be important.
I love that. Something that I see in this business, and there's actually two things, you know, and you'll when we're together at the event, I'll tell you the tough times as well. But on for the sake of time, I'll share this, and I think this is such a powerful testament. The community of real estate investors that I get to live around. And yes, I've met the bad ones. I've met the ones who don't keep the, you know, all the things, except there is such an incredible group of people who are big givers, who know how to create wealth and want to use that wealth to help others. And I don't know how much of that is just the fact that we've been blessed to be surrounded by amazing people, or how much of that is, real estate attracts. I have no idea. And it's incredible to me to be surrounded by people, coming up in Vegas in March. We're planning with our mastermind community. We're going to be doing a big charity event, and I'm giddy about that because last time we packed 14,000 meals for Kids Against Hunger. It brought so much joy. We have a couple of veterans in the community who have that heart, and so we're better together. There's what's the numbers? If you put two ox together, they pull like 27,000 pounds, and one pulls like 6,000 or something crazy. That ain't the exact math, but in other words, teamed up. It's incredible what happens. What would you say, since starting in real estate investing, what has been the biggest obstacle you've had to overcome to date?
Hmm. Obstacle, getting a signed contract.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I've been trying to remind myself to enjoy the process and to enjoy the journey. One year from now, Lauren is going to look completely different. So
Yeah.
let's really enjoy it. Enjoy getting better at operator or making calls or filling out the contract quickly. And I think really what makes a difference in that is the team around you, just like you said. And I feel like I've found my team in Truka, which is so cool. I love how you guys are much smaller. You guys know each other. You're talking to me right now, Andrew. I mean, that's amazing. So having the right people around me, I know is gonna, propel me, not only me, everybody in the entire team, because we're just gonna keep learning from each other. So
Yeah.
I'm just excited for it. Any obstacle that I do come across, I know that there's the team right behind me and I can say, "Help, what does this mean?" And let me submit this to the deal room and Andrew will walk me through it, or I could ask Leo on Motivation Mondays. So obstacles I don't feel like are going to get in my way. I just need to figure it out and plow through them, if you will.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I love that. And I think the beautiful part, and you described this perfectly, but as people, in this case, real estate investors, but as people, like, there's just no place to ever quit. There's always a new level to get to. And I think that's the beautiful thing. I remember starting in real estate, and I love goals, right? I set
Mm,
big goals and I'm going, gosh, I want to get to X number. And then I realized it's such a beautiful journey.
mm.
And now I look back at the tougher seasons with fondness. Easier to do once the bank account grew, right? But
That
in the
part.
season it's going on, now you look, it's interesting. A few months back, because Leo has an incredible perspective of, while something is happening, it's like, hey, brother, like, this is going to be a cool moment to look back on and be grateful for. And I'm like, then it will be, but it's not now, And so he has that perspective. And it was something interesting he said to me several months ago. And I was having a stressful day, a couple of deals, big projects, commercial project, a thing going. And he's like, you realize this is the problem that you're solving that you used to pray for. And I'm like, that's crazy. You know, I was praying for the upside. I didn't think about the problem that I had to solve. But you're right. In order to have the X project or the X thing or the X freedom number, you're praying to have X problem to solve because we get paid in according to the problems we solve. And so I love your perspective at even this stage in the game that you're already going, okay, how do I be that better operator and actually build a business? And I'm giddy about what the next year is going to look like for you, Lauren.
Me too.
Absolutely. And I'm excited to meet you in person in 48
Yes.
hours.
No kidding. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Is near. All right, my friend. Will you have a blessed Monday and safe travels to Houston? And
Thank you
for
so
all
much,
of,
Andrew.
absolutely. Let's see you soon.
We'll
Bye
see
for
you
now.
soon.
Give it up for Lauren in the chats. Lauren. I love it. All right. So on this Monday, for those of you who are here live, rest of you that are on the live stream, I'm very excited for what is happening in the marketplace. That's no secret. And if there's one gift I could give you, above all else, it is build momentum for all of you. You know, there's no place to stop. I remember not recently, I remember a few years ago, first time I invested $100,000 in a mastermind. And I started going back to 2014 when I joined a coaching program that was at the time $34,000, back when I really couldn't afford that. And I was 21 years old, except it was the greatest gift that somebody ever gave me, was because I realized there is no place to stop growing and learning. There's momentum to build. Now, doesn't mean that life doesn't get more awesome when you get to live your freedom life. And some people do choose to use the information to only do 3 or 4 or 5 deals a year. And if so, God bless them. We have people in the community succeeding very well, doing a handful of deals every year, except when the mission, somebody asked me, when's enough? And I said, it's never enough because it's not about me. And when the mission exceeds Heather's, Tom's, Lauren's, Jane's current level, then there's no ceiling of which to reach. And that's what excites me. And when I read news articles like I started today's off with, that talking about the Trump houses, the rent-to-own programs, the million new homes that they're intending to build and put into the marketplace, teaming up with home builders, national home builders that will be below the median price range. It excites me. That's what we've been doing for 12 years, and it's what we get to do together. And we get to put people on a path to home ownership. We get to serve people. We get to serve, whether it be, veterans or whether it be classes of people who don't have their credit together yet, and give them that financial baseline. And so it brings me so much joy that we get to learn ways to add value to the marketplace. And when I look at it as a never-ending game, what Lauren said there, something she said that's so powerful, which is, before I start a call, often I would say, there's going to be a great call. Like, they're probably going to sell me the house. And I used to make it a habit to say that every time, because what was going through my mind was, oh crap, I hope they don't answer. And if they do, I need to buy this house because my account's about to go overchecked, right? And so that was the talk that I was having 12 years ago. And so I had to do something other than that talk, because that talk wasn't going to get me the deals and the servant's heart that I needed to serve others. And so shout out to all of you guys for being here. Whatever stage you are at in your real estate investing journey, it is an incredible time, a powerful window of opportunity that, frankly, and I'm not preaching a scarcity of, oh my gosh, next month you can't do deals if you don't do them this month. I don't mean that. And the market is shifting big time. And I personally believe over the last 10 years, it has shifted the way that beginners could get started in real estate. And my belief is the next 5 years, it's going to get much harder for people who don't already have a start to get started. I mean, how many of you look back and go, gosh, I wish I would have picked up some houses in 2020. I wish I would have picked up some houses in 2015. Yes. And so I just believe with everything in me. Now, that doesn't mean, for the people who are starting in 5 years, God bless them. They'll figure out a way. And I believe we are in a window of opportunity right now from the legislation that is being announced, that is coming down the pipe, to the opportunities that are before us. We go through cycles. And as I believe this year, as rates get lower and money becomes more accessible, it will be an incredible time to be able to be involved, to grow wealth in a window of opportunity, really a springtime and a summertime that is happening right before our eyes. And I don't know how long that lasts. I know there's always cycles. I know there's always ups and downs. I do know, though, that we're in an exciting spring and summertime, and that with the evolvement that is happening in our markets around us, there's never been a better time to get started than now. And so I just commend you guys for being here. For all of you who are, of course, are here on the Zoom, shout out to you guys. Keep submitting your deals. We have the incredible Ahmed Fifi on Daily Dials tomorrow with our coaching community. For those of you who are not in transit to Houston, for those of you who are in transit to Houston, I'm excited to see you Wednesday morning. And for all of you watching the replay, sorry you missed Houston, but be watching for the next announcement of when we'll be live. All right. Be blessed, guys. That concludes today. I am giddy about the week ahead. Incredible things are happening, and we'll see you guys at the next.